Dear Boomers, today we will be discussing the 30th verse of the Tao Te Ching. Please subscribe to the channel, and in the description below, there will be a place for you to look at the Dear Boomers community, where we have discussions every other week on matters that have to do with even this kind of topic. So today, we reflect on the 30th verse of the Tao Te Ching, which is an ancient teaching that warns us of the cost of force and the true wisdom of restraint. This is such an interesting, appropriate topic for today because we are in a very violent time in our history. Quote, one who would guide a leader of men in the uses of life will warn him against the use of arms for conquest. Weapons often turn upon those who wield the weapons. Here Lao Tzu reminds us that violence, no matter how justified it may seem, in fact it never is justified, leaves behind destruction that ultimately harms both the attacker and the attacked. And so it's recommended to turn off any kind of violence into our consciousness. Where armies settle, nature offers nothing for briars and thorns. After a great battle has been fought, the land is cursed. The crops fail. The earth lies stripped of its motherhood. War does not end when the weapons are put down. Its scars linger in the soil, in the hearts of survivors, and in the generations that follow. The verse tells us to consider, what price do we pay when we seek victory through destruction? What price do we pay when we seek victory through destruction? This is a question to reflect upon very humbly and simply. After achieving a purpose, Lao Tzu warns we must not boast of success. We must not parade our ability, nor must we feel proud. Instead, we should regret that conflict could not be prevented. The true sage does not rejoice in conquest, but grieves that peace was broken. We need to realize that any kind of violence that we allow into our consciousness needs to be cleansed out. Quote, you must never think of conquering others by force. Whatever strains with force will soon decay. It is not attuned to the great way of the Tao Te Ching. Not being attuned to the way, its end comes all too soon. Forces may yield temporary power, but it is fragile. Only harmony with the Tao, the natural way, endures. Like water that shapes stone, gentle persistence and alignment with the greater flow of life outlasts all violence. Very profound. So can we live this way? Can we turn off the news? Can we stop listening to those who are in the streets fighting against those who are there for democracy? The 30th verse of the Tao Te Ching is not just an ancient warning against war. It is an invitation for us in our daily lives to step away from force, whether in our words, our ambitions, or our relationships, and instead seek harmony, humility, and peace. For in the end, the way is not about conquering others. It is about living so deeply in alignment with the Tao that there is no need to conquer at all. And that is what these verses are all about. There will be videos that show up here. Take a look at them. And as I said before, subscribe to the Dear Boomers community and that will be in the description below. Now, this teaching, if it resonates with you, take a moment today to notice where you might be forcing life and allow yourself instead to flow with life. Bye-bye.